So now we've come to the last sheet. But why do I only have 9 inches between here and here? Well, if you remember, I started over there and I brought my wallpaper around here, and I decided that I was going to meet the ending and the beginning over here. It's a strategical consideration. Ideally, it would be right here. As I said earlier, when you enter the dining room, that's the last place you're going to look. This comes into the view of the periphery of people entering. But practically speaking, I couldn't do it over there. So we yield to prudence, right? You never want to have a 6 to 8 foot fake out if you don't have to. You always want to end it over a doorway or a window because we only have 23 inches here. That's what you want, something short or shorter. Do not start and end your wallpaper in corners on an 8-foot wall. This is bizarre, but I've seen it done. Because people don't know how to do what's called a fake out, which is what I'm going to do right now. So I'm going to match this sheet to this piece, and this is where I'm going to end it, and I'm going to cut around this pattern to make it look like it matches. We're going to do our best. That's all we can do. Now, this might be a good opportunity for the person doing this from home to use a water bottle. You can continue to keep your job moist so that in case it starts drying, because you tend to spend more time on these fake outs than anything else. So if you wet it, you prevent it from drying out on you.
But first, let me acknowledge Lou Indorato, who is one of my viewers, thankfully. He's a veteran installer. Where, I don't know. But he told me, hey, put your volume up. So I'm going to put my volume up.
I'm going to put some glue on the wall covering, the old, just to keep the new stuck to it so I know where to make my cuts. Before we think about where we're going to cut our wallpaper, we need to make sure that the seam is perfect. That's the first consideration. Because if you cut this without making sure the seam is perfect, then you have a permanently imperfect seam. The idea with a fake out is to leave your big images fully intact. The eye will notice if I cut this in half. Your eye is going to notice it. But let's say I don't cut this in half. and I cut around it, but I wind up cutting something else in half. That's what you want to avoid on a fake out. So, now you might say, Spencer, why don't you try putting this sheet on top? You could do that. But first, let's see how this works out. Okay, so theoretically, let's just say theoretically, we leave this intact. We cut around here to make this intact. We want this big thing. Let's see if we're interfering with anything. So far, it's not a bad plan. Or I could simply come in here Here's what I think I'll do. I want to match these flowers. This big shape here, I can match it up to here. So, now you got to be careful when you first start cutting. Because it doesn't like to cut through the double sheet of wallpaper. Okay, so the idea is I'm keeping this big flower. Now, as you cut, you can take away the excess. See, I've joined this big thing. Your eye is not going to be staring at, because it's all one there, you know? I made it part of that. Okay, what else am I going to cut around? I already know I want this big flower intact. And I want to avoid cutting this flower. So, check this out. I'm going to put my line, see? I'm going to keep that flower underneath intact. I like that. Okay, here's what we're looking like so far. This is how our pattern looks. So I'm going to keep that flower intact. Okay. Okay, let's see where we are with this. Nice. Oh, I love it right now. So this is all going. This is staying. You have to be aware of what you're doing too. Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. Okay, so right now, I just pull this apart. I have my fake out. I have my fake out. So I take this away. You'll see. Hold on, she's not. Okay, if I just keep this, what do I lose here? Too much going on here. Okay. Get rid of this. Keep that. Okay, so now let's see how we look. Okay, so what I want to do is keep this flower, so I can't move it too much. I just want to get out the wallpaper that's underneath it. Okay, so let's see how we look. What do you think?
Amazing.
It's amazing because I actually was able to join parts.
Yes.
Sometimes you get lucky, you know? What can I tell you?
If you like this video, as we are coming close to the end, can you please click the like button? I know that we forget to do that when we like our videos that we watch. I do it myself. But a lot of time goes into these, and I'd appreciate it if you clicked on like. Initially, this video was a lot longer because I went over these angles, these obtuse angles you're looking at right now. There are 4 obtuse angles right there you're looking at, where the windows begin and then in between the windows. They're up to, that's a right angle right there. we always cut our angles. That seam is cut. You can't see it, but it's cut. And certainly if you cut any angles, let it be these. These are obtuse angles. And if you don't cut those angles, if you don't cut the wallpaper at the angle, your wallpaper will lift off of that corner by the next day. It'll literally lift off and you'll have air behind it. The wallpaper constricts, and so you cut it so that it doesn't lift. There's no chance of it lifting. It's a very nice wallpaper, very easy to work with. So if you think that the fake out or the kill point was very good, well, the wallpaper contributed to the success of that matching. And so there you have it. It's a beautiful wallpaper, but it's a pleasure as a hanger to work with such a product because it was so easy to hang. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please click on like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.